So, today on episode 1, what a divorcee doesn't tell you is it gets lonely. Unless you've been divorced, you probably do not understand the level of emotional upheaval that comes with most divorces. There's hardly a divorcee out there that has not experienced what I call an emotional roller coaster during and after their divorce proceedings. Although not all the emotions are negative, some people actually feel happy, they feel relief, they feel joy. The majority of them are negative emotions most times. There's anger and rejection and shame and guilt and loneliness. So we're going to talk a bit about loneliness today. So I wrote in my book, the holidays are the absolute worst. Birthdays, Valentine's, Christmas is the lot. Until you learn to master your emotions and thoughts, practice the presence of God, focus on others, move on and go out, holidays alone can plain suck for some divorcees. I recall the first Christmas my sons went overseas. I hung up the phone that Christmas morning and I bawled my eyes out as my heart broke in two. On another Christmas day, in the initial stages, my ex was in town and after breakfast I dropped off my kids to spend the day with him. He was dating at the time and with his family, so everyone seemed incredibly happy as I drove off. I recall the emptiness I felt as I made my way home. Yes, I had my family, but truthfully it was not the same. I remember thinking, Daddy God, how did it get this way? Why am I the one here alone? Thankfully, time and God have made these experiences almost vanish. However, the intermittent loneliness is very real and exceedingly difficult for some to navigate. So that was my story. I have learned the difference between being alone and feeling lonely. But it was really hard in those early days, especially Friday nights. I don't know what it was about Friday nights, but Friday nights I felt really lonely. So whereas loneliness is almost an expected emotion when you get separated, when your marriage falls apart, it should not be ignored depending on the intensity of your loneliness and the duration and the length of time that this is going on. I'm sure that you have all heard this excellent advice. You should never make decisions based on or when you're too hungry, too angry, too lonely, and too tired. So when you make decisions when you are feeling really lonely, it can be disastrous, especially if one of those decisions is to date too soon. Disaster. Or you become extremely extroverted and participating in destructive activities that you normally would not even do. So we have to find a way to seek peace with ourselves. We have to find a way to seek healthy relationships so we are not alone all the time, but when we are alone, we have to find a way to make peace with that. So some things to consider. One, apart from death, divorce is the second highest stress of life transitions. Think about that. Two, apart from a miraculous disposition, this may be one of the most emotional journeys of your life. 3, your emotions, in addition to being varied and dependent on the day, may seem polar opposites at times, meaning one minute you feel happy and relieved, the next minute you feel sad and real lonely. And fourthly, no one but you is walking this out. No one is in your shoes, so no one can understand it all. So that's it for episode 1. Drop me some comments, and until next time, where we will be talking about I feel like a fish out of water. If you need some help, consider signing up for the workshop or reaching out to me to see if there's any other way that I can serve you. Peace and love. Take care, Coach D.